Thank you very much. So thank you for coming. Yes, today we're talking about time management, and so we better get started and get on time here. We're going to be talking about unlocking success through elimination, automation, and delegation. As mentioned, I do consulting and work with Boost Strategic Consulting, and Boost designs current and innovative sales and marketing training that you've already received 2 workshops thus far, but they have a lot of other training and workshops that they do that helps entrepreneurs such as yourself. So I'm thrilled today even to be here, even though I don't sound like it. So I apologize if you need me to repeat myself. Please just put up your hand. I'll try my best here, but I got the liquids going. So who am I? Some of you I'm just kind of connecting and reconnecting with as well. I am born and raised, well, I wouldn't say born and raised. I was born in Edmonton, but I definitely was raised in Saskatchewan. And my parents were entrepreneurs. They owned small hotels everywhere in Saskatchewan and restaurants. And so I was really born in an entrepreneurial family and learned a lot of good things just by being around them. I went to university. I have a degree in nutrition and dietetics. Don't worry, I'm going to grab pizza on the way out because we did talk about it's actually got everything on there compared to a salad. We got the carbs, we got the protein, we got the vegetables. So I will be grabbing pizza on the way out. It's a good source of good nutrition. But I also took a lot of business classes. And when I got out of nutrition, I did work in a lot of hotels and hospitality and tourism industry, well over 25 years. And during that time, I was the director of sales and marketing in a number of the hotels here in Saskatoon. I also got the opportunity to facilitate and train and mentor sales individuals and executive leaders in hotels throughout Canada. And recently, I quit all of that after 25 years and decided to do consulting and coaching. So here I am with Boost and really focus on the sales and marketing side. That's my wheelhouse. I actually started a new job. This is day 2, and I'm already skipping out on it. I am the new executive director at the Downtown Saskatoon Business Improvement District. So I'll be representing you entrepreneurs if you decide to be in the Downtown Saskatoon core, but also our business community that's there, and hoping getting to get more foot traffic in those doors for you entrepreneurs to be successful. So that's a little bit about me. So what are we gonna do today? What we'll cover, why time management matters, the top 3 reasons for why we feel we're a little bit overwhelmed at times. We're going to define what your priorities are. So there's a workbook, there's some work to do. If you haven't been to the other 2 workshops, we do put you to work. And we're also going to be talking about eliminating, automating, and delegating, which is in that order. And we're also at the very end going to talk about your why, okay? So let me click on that so it comes up. And there it is. Now, as entrepreneurs, we're always pulled into many different directions, and we're always looking for the easiest and quickest way to get there. And even though we love what we do, we don't want it to take over our life, do we? That's when we start to get a little burnt out. That's when we get to go, why am I doing this, right? So we also don't want you to drop any balls, and we don't want you to miss any opportunities because you're not prepared, you're not organized, and you're not able to take advantage of what comes right in front of you. So hopefully today we're able to provide you with a little bit of tools to make your life, make your business a little bit more efficient, manageable, and enjoyable. Okay. I'm very busy doing things I don't need to do in order to avoid doing anything I actually am supposed to do. Does this relate to anyone sometimes? You know, it's like, oh, but I'm just gonna do this, right? So being an entrepreneur really means being the master of your time, rather it mastering you. I'm sure you've heard that. And when we have so many things that we have going on, it's really easy to focus on the things that you feel are the most urgent. but we tend to avoid the things that are the most important things that are actually going to move that dial. We talked about the needle and how that needle is moving towards achieving your goals, which is also going to provide you much success in your business. So let me know if this sounds familiar. Sorry, I think I'm going to go back. There we go. Let me know if this sounds familiar. You get to the end of the week and you're busy. You feel like you've been busy and you've done a lot of things, but you don't have anything off on your to-do list. And you really haven't done much to, like I said, move that needle. You look at your desk and you look at your prospecting list, you look at your funnel, your pipeline, whatever you want to call it, and you got no names on it. Or you feel like your hair's on fire and you're not enjoying the work that you're doing. And you shouldn't feel like that. So, what are the root problems of why you're feeling like this? So, it's in your workbook, I believe. Or if not, jot it down on a piece of, is it in your workbook?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what I'd like you to do is just take some time while I get a drink. And I would like you to write down what are the 2 things you look forward to doing. So that might be calling on clients. It might be doing proposals. What are the 2 things you avoid doing? It might be the same thing, calling on clients and writing proposals. And what are the 2 tasks that have the most positive impact on your business? And it might be the same thing, calling on clients and writing proposals. And think about why are you avoiding them and why. So I'm just giving you a couple of seconds here to jot some down, and I would love for someone to volunteer to tell me a little bit of what they think that they're avoiding that could have a positive impact on their business. We'll just give you a few seconds. So, how are we doing? Is this hard? It is hard? It's about being really honest with yourself, right? That's good. Sometimes you need to have yourself a little conversation. What do you like doing? What do you look forward to doing?
This will sound odd, but I like to cold call.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like one of the reasons why I actually really like sales.
Mm-hmm.
But I hate updating our CRM and finding the contact information. Like if I get the number in front of me, I can
Right.
jump on the phone and have fun kind of thing. But all the more
So doing the prep work to make the call.
Yeah.
The admin stuff.
Yeah.
Do you do the admin stuff? So they work together, by the way. So they're like yin and yang, and so you found someone that does that for you. We're going to get there because this is a really good example for later on in regards to when I'm going to point out some stuff. So you love to do all the hunting and the research. Yeah.
Organizing of timelines.
Yeah.
Working with their team and our team.
So, what are 2 tasks that you think has the most impact on your business then?
Like actually getting on the phone.
Doing the cold calling, yeah.
If I'm delayed, like even today, this morning I spent most of the morning just trying to find, okay, this looks like a good prospect, I need to find a contact.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't even got to the first call of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that if I can make the call, there's a good chance we'll get a client. So,
Mm-hmm. So the mindset, we're going to talk a lot about shifting our mindset in this. And I've taken a lot of new business development training and cold calling. I don't like to call it cold calling because I'm going to scare the new salespeople right away. Or some of you who don't think you're salespeople going, oh my God, cold calling. I like to call it new business development. It seems so much more, better than that. And I always said to my girls, Like, you have to schedule the time. You can't just go unprepared on the phone. You do have to schedule the time to know who you're talking to, getting the right information, making sure you're getting through the gatekeeper. So don't look at like it's actually wasting your time. You're doing the activity that's going to get you success rather than jumping in cold feet and getting and picking up that phone. So anyone else want to share? Is it very similar? No? Okay, well, don't worry. I got other times for you to jump in. Okay, so let's talk about my hair's on fire, right? We're going to talk about the 3 common reasons as to why your hair is on fire and what we can maybe do to put out the fire, so to speak. And one is being a perfectionist and a control freak. A common reason why you may have too much on your plate right now and your hair's on fire is because you're a bit of a perfectionist. Can anybody relate or resonate? Okay, we got a couple of perfectionists, okay? What kind of things are you too picky about? What do you think you're too picky about? Sorry, I got you with your mouth full, but.
So I really like detail.
You
And
like
I
detail?
especially like technical detail. But I work in a realm of general. So I find it a hard balance to pull myself out of the technical and detail because that's usually where I solve problems and find the solutions for clients. But at the same time, it is, if you're actually talking to someone, they're not going to have read an entire piece, like 100 pages on things and got it into the detail the same as me. So I find my perfectionism, I nitpick over wording, marketing myself, marketing my services is probably the hardest thing I do. And it's the thing I dread the most because I'm always trying to make it perfect.
Right. So getting into the details is what you're saying can put a lot on your plate, and that in itself kind of creates a little bit of the fire. You were saying yourself, were you as well? Yeah. What would be one of the things that you think you're too picky about?
Knowing everything about everything.
Knowing everything about everything.
So, and what, if I'm going to give a presentation, what possible question could I get? And if I have to read all those 100-page reports, just in case I'm asking that question.
Yeah, so really preparing, over-preparing, and just anticipating every type of question you may get. Yeah, okay. Well, the enemy of progression is perfectionism, okay? So people who do things poorly, I know this might be hard for you, still do it better than if you do nothing at all. So I think Daria said this at the last workshop, even a broken clock is right twice a day. And often professionals will freeze or they're gonna hold back and advance because they feel like they need to have it perfect. So for example, if you're creating a website, but yet you just not quite there, it's not quite, I don't have this page built, or maybe it's social media, don't have the whole plan for the whole year yet laid out. I'm not ready. So if everyone actually waited to be perfect, then you know what? There'd be fewer amazing products and services out there. And there would be fewer successful businesses out there. So what I would give you advice on right now is just to try to change your mindset around that. You might make an excuse as to why you're not reaching out to any new prospects, saying you have to get that website done. Nope, I got to get this done because I don't want to call them because I have nothing there to send them to. Well, does your website clearly state what you're selling? And does it have your contact information? Then that's enough. Go for it. You can always keep on working on it. You can still keep on improving it and updating it. Again, if you're looking to progress, you're not going to do that if you're thinking perfection, okay? So is your desk messy? I just started day 2 and my desk is still as messy. So, but you got on the top of the mess a list of calls that you got to make. Make the calls. You're going to feel so much better. Make a goal. I'm going to reach 5 goals, or I'm going to call 5 of these prospects, and then I'm going to clean my messy desk. So, are there tasks that you're doing right now in your everyday life and in business that is not the best use of your time? But you're afraid to delegate because you like them done a certain way, right? And what tasks do you do that someone else you think could probably handle? Even if it may not be perfect, this is about delegating. So be honest with yourself. You may want to jot something on. You might pop up right now. Just jot something down. So is there anything that right now, you perfectionists or anyone else in the room, go, yeah, I got to start delegating this one thing because it takes up way too much. I'll give you one. I'm on day 2, and there's a pile of mail on my desk. And in there is you got to sort through it. This has got to go to my bookkeeper. This has got to go to my guy who's in charge of social media. This has got to go to my marketing Why am I doing this? Because it's always been done that way. I don't need to hang on to that. That's very administrative. Anyone else want to share? Okay, I encourage you to start thinking about some of the things that you can find someone that can do maybe 80% as well as you would have done it, okay? You're still going to gain some traction. You're going to get a lot more traction out of it if you just don't do anything at all. And we want to give you some time so that you can do the things that are very important, such as facing your clients, talking to your clients, finding your networks, finding where your clients are so that you can be face-to-face with them, okay? All right, I got to be mindful of my time, but that clock doesn't even seem like it's working. Whoa, time management, and the clock's not working. Okay. And my watch isn't working. What is this? What's going on? So anyways, no systems in place or grown out of old systems. So another reason that a lot of people's hair is on fire is that they don't have a system in place. And they've outgrown some of their old systems. I know when I was starting out in my own consulting business, I didn't have any systems in place. How do I track my time? Okay, what systems are out there? And I'm jumping from client to client to client. So I had to relook at my own business inside because I had systems in my old business that was set up. So I had to look at what did I need individually in my own consulting business. When Boost, strategic coaching just went through a big growth, adding a lot more consultants, looking at other niche markets. They went through a huge growth spurt, and the dynamic had changed and the demand had increased rapidly. And we realized that we have outgrown the systems that we used before to communicate, organize, and plan. So we had outgrown our communication strategy, and we had to look to the team and think, okay, what do we need to do right now to communicate with each other? And we knew that we outgrew that. So think about how many times you go into your inbox and you're unable to find that conversation or find where you maybe threw it into a folder. It's buried in there deep. And so the busier and busier that you're gonna get, because you're cold calling and you're getting more clients, and you've got your website out there, and now people are going to your website, take a look and see, because you may need to update some of your systems. And we're going to talk a little bit about what some of those systems are out there. I'll give you some tips and tricks as to what we use. And also, I'd like you to share with each other what you use, because I am not the best techie person when it comes to systems, okay? But anyways, there's going to be some project management softwares that are out there that are pretty good. So with that being said, I've got questions that I'd like to ask you. And by a show of hands, how many of you use a paper to-do list? Everybody. A good old-fashioned paper to-do list. Why do you use it?
It's fast, quick, easy to change.
Mm-hmm.
Got it right here.
Ooh.
Not to save it,
My
to
list was
take
that
the
small.
place on your desktop.
That's just
So it's fast, quick, easy to change, and it's
It's always on your desk.
It's right there.
You don't have to go to a certain screen.
staring
you
at
don't
you.
always have to have it open on this screen, and
Yeah.
it's always there. You can go,
So it's satisfying as well to cross something out. Yes, yep. Digital, so you were saying you like it right in front of you, but anyone using a digital to-do list? Yes? Okay.
My problem is
Yep.
I have like 4 different to-do lists.
You have 4 different to-do lists. I hear ya. Yep. I was color coding them too. Personal to-do lists, business to-do lists, working on a project. Oh, yes, okay. What about calendars? How do you write are you using a digital calendar or a paper calendar or both or 4 of them?
Just digital.
Digital, digital, yeah, okay. Okay. And email for all of your communication with your team. Is everybody still communicating via email? Yeah.
Email, Teams,
Teams, okay.
Monday.com.
Monday.com. I think I saw that one pop up, okay. I mean, how many of you have a big team right now? It might be just you. Yeah, you have a team, yeah. So as you grow, start thinking about this, okay? An app to keep track of your tasks. So it's sort of like the to-do list, but I think I have an app. I can't even remember what it's called. Trackify, I don't know. It's on my iPad. And what about admin support? Do anybody have admin support right now? We have 1, 2, 3. Well, she does your count of 4, right? Okay. So how do you communicate to them? Do you have one-on-one meetings with them, a huddle? Do you email them? Do you Zoom call them? So think about what you do and what's efficient for you. All right? I'd like you to start thinking about the systems you're using right now, and if any, and if you're not, and you're flying by the seat of your pants, what is the first thing you need to do and figure out? Okay? Soon we're going to explore, as I mentioned, some of the applications and strategies that will help build more efficient systems for you to keep you organized and for you to communicate. All right, so in business, when you're in growth mode, as we just talked about, what gets you busy keeps you busy. If you don't prioritize business development to keep a healthy roster of clients that are sitting in your pipeline, you won't be busy for very long. For most business owners, the top priorities need to be finding new customers, okay, so that's that new business development, and keeping your existing ones happy. It's so much more effort to find new ones versus you already have some that are there, less effort, just keep them happy. And then you gotta invest in yourself. You gotta keep on learning and honing in on your own skills as a professional. So don't dismiss taking time out for yourself as well. Everything else, even if it needs to be done, needs to fall lower on that priority list. So take it these 3. And if we figure out how to eliminate what's very unnecessary for you to do, if we automate what we can do as well, and if we can delegate, I know it might be hard for you perfectionists, but think about it, that another human can do, then we're on the right track here to be able to prioritize these 3 things. So, discomfort around sales. You love cold calling. I hear that. There's not a lot in your group, okay? So anyone here a little bit uncomfortable with sales a little bit? Yeah? Okay. For those of you who tend to never get around to business development tasks, such as reaching out to new people, it could be because you have discomfort around sales. For some entrepreneurs, you may feel that you're not into sales, but you really are. You're all about self-promotion. So, however, You may also feel that you have the fear of rejection. Oh gosh, here comes another no. I'm in sales. I love sales. I wouldn't say I love cold calling, but it has to be done. So what can I do to bring down that rejection, that fear of rejection? What can I do to enjoy the sales process? And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that as we go along. So how many of you can relate to being not a little fearful of making the sales calls? Sometimes. No? No? Just a few? Just very, well, that's good. These are true entrepreneurs here that love what they do, and that's good because you believe in your product and your service. So how many of you have received no's? Lots of them, right? So this is where I talked about the mind shift. And I'm sure you've heard this before, getting a lot of no's is good. Because why? It's going to get you to the yes a lot faster, right? I think it's Tony Robbins might have said something similar to this, or I don't know if it was about some baseball player, how many strikes, eventually you're going to hit a home run. Yeah, exactly. So they're not saying no to you. Like, don't take it personal. They're just saying no to the solution. They're saying no to the product or the service that you're providing for them now. It may not fit for them now, but it could in the future. So how you handle that rejection is also very important too, because they could be a future client of yours. So keep them on the list that you might call them. So there are a few common reasons why people may feel uncomfortable about sales. So let me give you some hints and tips on how you can kind of get through some of that. Some of it is you don't know who to talk to. So when I say you don't know who to talk to, I mean that you may be approaching markets that aren't a good fit for the product or the service or solution that you may have. Therefore, choosing your niche markets that align best with you is what's going to increase your success rate. And certainly, you can definitely sharpen up on those skills in regards to profiling and messaging and presenting to ensure that they clearly understand what it is that you do. This may help in regards to your closing ratio, but make sure that you actually know which markets that align best with you. And I'm not talking about bamboozling them and giving them that sales pitch and twisting their arm. It's really about telling them what you do, educating them on your offer. It's in their ball court. And again, you may get that no, but that's okay. It's going to get you to the yes, but it may be no for right now. It could be a yes in the future. So another reason why you may feel a little bit uncomfortable about sales is you don't know what to say. I'm on day 2 in my new role. What do you do? I'm downtown and I represent the businesses downtown, and I want to create an energetic and vibrant place for people to come and visit. I want visitation from I got to get my script down here. So I have to practice on what my messaging is going to be, but also know who is my audience, because my messaging may be different. So knowing your niche markets and knowing your message for that niche market is very important as well. So you may be feeling uncomfortable in calling your prospect because you haven't worked out your messaging. So make sure that you are clear and can articulate what you do, why it matters, and who should care, okay? So again, what do you do, why it matters, and who should care? So being confident in the solution you offer and what you plan to say makes it so much easier for you to call. So if these issues that have prevented you from focusing on business development, I hope you'll be able to change your perspective. And preparation, we talked about preparation, you're helping him prepare, but knowledge is power. You already know your product, you know your service, you know the solution, you know your business. So now you just need to know who you're going to talk to. And when you talk to that person, prepare. Because what does preparation give you? Confidence. And you know your message, and now just practice and practice and practice some more. I used to write a script out as to why I'm calling them. And there's different ones. and what their needs are. So if it goes, write the script, practice it, make the call. Yeah. Yeah. I see some nodding of heads. Yeah. Sometimes if I'm doing a presentation like I am today, I'm practicing in the mirror, trying not to look down at my notes. Even though I know this stuff, it just, I want to make sure that I'm effectively articulating this message because it's so important. Okay, I think we've seen this, or something like it, right? As we get into tactics, I want you to think about this analogy. Many of you have heard about the rocks in the jar. Yes, okay, no, all right, good. I like when I get to, because this is awesome. Once you see this, you're going to be smooth sailing. So we talked about priorities. We talked about those 3 priorities. We talked about goal setting. So the 3 priorities, keep it simple, make it 3. If you get to cross one off, you get to put one back on. So you may have a list of 10, but keep it to 3 that you're focusing on, okay? These are your 3 big rocks. And all the other tasks are the pebbles in the sand. So they're a little bit more, smaller priorities and asks. So first of all, you're going to put your 3 rocks in because those are the things that matter. And then you're going to put those things like the sand and the pebbles in after the fact. But think about what if you did it the other way around? You're in trouble. You're in trouble. You do not have time for the things that really matter, for the things that are actually going to move the dial to where you're going to be successful, your business is going to be successful. So I think in your workbook, there's something there for you to fill out in regards to what are your 3 rocks. What are your 3 priorities? And you may have an idea because we did some goal setting last workshop. So if you wouldn't mind thinking about it right now and making some notes on it. What are your 3 rocks? What are your 3 priorities right now that you want to accomplish? I'll give you a minute or 2 to do that. Okay. Anyone want to share a priority they have or one big rock they may have? You sit in the front row, you get picked on,
It would be new business development.
Yeah.
The second one is continuing to work with existing clients.
Mm-hmm.
Re-signing our existing clients.
Yeah, so new business development, which we talked about, is important. Working with your existing clients, see where they're at.
Yeah. And the last one would probably be like attending events and conferences.
Right, so attending events and conferences. So those do 2 things. A, they help with finding new clients, and they hone in on your skills. You're learning things from there too. Awesome, great, thank you. Anyone else want to share a big rock? All right. Same thing? Yeah. I mean, those are the things that are moving. I mean, it's not rocket science, right? So it's good to set goals and put measurements in place for these rocks, okay? So last week in goal setting, we talked about SMART goals, so specific, measurable, you've heard of this, attainable, relevant, time-bound. But first, let's reverse engineer them to break down what steps you need to take to build consistency in your week, to have scheduled in all of your big rock activities. So you've written down your rocks. You may only have a couple. Take it home, write down your 3 big rocks, and then I would like you to monitor the time that you have spent on them. So today's Tuesday, so maybe you want to go Wednesday to Wednesday, whatever you want to do right now to finish it up. And then take a look, and I'm going to give you some more tools at the end of this, what you're going to do, but take a look and see how much time you spent on those, okay? All right, it's time management. We got to get flying here. And so first and foremost, if we're too busy doing the wrong thing, so focusing on the pebbles and the sand, the low priority stuff, then we're never going to have time to do the needle moving activities. So today we're going to share with you how to maximize your time spent on impactful activities, such as eliminate, automate, and it's coming, delegate. It's just, the clicker's a little slow. That's all right. So you have this in your workbook. Time management, it's a workshop. we got to be on time. So I'm going to let you guys do this at home for your homework. But keep in mind how I'm going to go through an example right away, okay? So you're going to make a big to-do list showing all the things that you need to be done in your business. And then, so I've written down, here's my big to-dos. Here they all are. You're going to do the same thing, okay? All right, take a picture if it's going to help inspire you. All right. Good. You got a picture?
Just have a quick question.
Yes.
Can you give some examples of automation? Like,
I'm going to get to that.
okay.
Keener. He asked if I can give examples of automation, and I'm going to get to that right away. Okay, so big to-do lists. All right, and then what will we do next with this list? All right, eliminate, surprise, surprise. So you're going to take a red marker and cross it out. So look at your list and take a look at the things that are nice to haves, or I have an attachment to this, right? Yeah, organize my pen drawer. I did that. I looked at my pen drawer today because I don't know anything in my desk. Like I said, it's new, and I'm like, okay, I should bring a pen. Do I have one here? Anyways, so be ruthless and remember why you're doing this in the first place, because you're doing too many things and your hair's on fire and your plate is full. So cross some of this stuff off, okay? So see what I did. So think about some of the things that you can eliminate that's on your list when you create your list. Or even right now, it might come to mind going, yeah, I can stop dealing with my pens. Then we're going to go to automate. There we go. So now that we've eliminated the nice to haves, we're now going to go to automate. So look at my list. Look at what I've automated. And it's highlighted in yellow. These are things that can be done without any human spending any time on that, okay? So any of these resonate with you? Okay, we're going to talk about some examples, and then I hope you might be able to jump in and tell me what you might do as well. First one is about emails. So email at Boost was becoming really crazy in regards to how we were communicating with each other. So very basically, you can have an incoming email and you can tell it to go to a certain folder right away. So if you have any newsletters that you sign up to get information from certain industry magazines or whatever the case may be, but you read those on Fridays only because you spend Friday afternoons working on yourself. That's the time you've slotted to give your own feedback, feed into your own skills. You will not look at those newsletters till Friday afternoon, and it's in that folder waiting for you, okay? There's some things that can be auto-forwarded to your bookkeeper as well. And so there's apps for that, and I'll talk a little bit about that, but I would suggest you take a look and see what you can automate within your own email to clean it up. How you organize it, color code it, whatever, okay? Communication beyond email, well, at Boost, we've moved to an internal team. The internal team has moved towards what's called Slack. So I get a ping every time someone's talking to me. And so it's just like, hey, Shawna, I sent you an email. Let me know if you got any questions about it. Or, hey, Shawna, I'd like to book a time with you. And this is internal, right? We're talking to each other on Slack. When we do project-specific stuff, we use Asana. Anyone heard of Asana? I love it. I just learned, again, not being a techie person, and I said I love it. It's awesome. So I use it with Boost, and also some of you may have seen me, but I also had a contract with the North Saskatoon Business Association, and I did all of their events and sponsorship, and I used Asana as well. So when I wanted my person who does all the paperwork to send out to get me the contract or get me the proposal, because I already had the template and I already am happy with what it looks like, I'd go, I need a contract for X company, go in Asana, and I would say it in Asana, so I wouldn't do it in the email. She always knows it's there. So that's how we use Asana.
Spell that? How do you spell it?
ASANA.
Is that a Microsoft app?
Now you're getting techie on me. It's just it goes, it's just an app. Yeah, sorry. And ASANA. 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 It's project management system. You can put multiple projects in there. I can go in there and see. There's to-do, there's tasks. You assign them to people. Everyone can take a look. I can look back in 2023 and see what this company did or what we did, and you can copy it to the next year. So that's the nice thing about it is you put everything nicely, and then you can go copy because you do the same event next year or you do the same project next year. So that's really nice. Organization, again, Asana will help you with that. You may have Trello. Has anyone heard of Trello as well? Yep. I used that as well a few years back when I was at the Sheraton Cavalier as the Director of Sales and Marketing. Used Trello to communicate to people that weren't also in the office. So that's important. Boost. We've got people everywhere. We've got people in the States. We've got people in Canada, all over the place. So it's really good to be able to communicate this way and check on, here, I just finished a social media post. Before I post it, please take a look. And so Trello is a really good one for that too. Appointment scheduler. I haven't personally used some of these, but you may have some. Acuity. Have you heard of Acuity? I don't even know if I'm saying it properly. And then there's so that's Acuity. And another one is Calendly. Lots of Lees. Calendly to book your appointments. Social media marketing. There's a lot of different apps out there that you can post with and do your content marketing management stuff. HubSpot is a really good place to go to get some information. But at Boost, they use what's called CoSchedule for their social media scheduling. But if you're using like a meta product, or just LinkedIn, you can just go in and schedule it and do it yourself right in the app. I have people that do that for me. I know what I like to see. I want to make sure it's on brand. I want to make sure that it's speaking the voice of who we are and covering the pillars of what we talk about, education or product. Education, it may be about you and the people, whatever that might be, but someone else is posting it, okay? And also Boost uses Kajabi, so that's Kajabi, and they use this for blogs, newsletter scheduling, and publishing. All right. And then bookkeeping. So of course, we have a bookkeeper, but the receipts for purchases and payments that show up in the email inbox are auto-forwarded to the bookkeeping software. And also, I know Daria, she took me out for lunch, and I want to figure this one out, but she could take a picture of the actual receipt and do whatever, and it goes straight to her bookkeeper. She does. If you look at my purse, that's one thing right now, because I have receipts everywhere. So I want to figure out what I need to do so that I don't have a million receipts in that regard. So there's parking apps, right? I just pulled into just now. If you're here all the time and your clients are here all the time, then you should have the parking app. Mileage tracker. Again, if you claim mileage or you're entrepreneurs, you've got to claim mileage, then have an app for that. So I'm sure there's a lot of different things that you're using right now or you're not using, but talk to other colleagues, all right? So, we gotta get going. Delegate, now we're on the last one. Okay, so we've identified the things that must be gone, and we've identified the things that we're gonna automate, but now we are going to delegate. So here's my list. Basically, the arrows. Look at the list, and that's what I'm going to delegate. The best things to delegate are to people who can do it better than you. And it's more affordable. Like, again, you pay me too much to open up the mail, to sort through. So I enjoy the work you too. Do what you like to, and what you do the best. And the other stuff that you hate to do and are okay, then delegate that to a human that you know that you can trust. So going back to the perfectionists in the back, remember, imperfect action is no moving forward. There's no needle moving. So if you can find that one person that can do 80% of how you would do it, then that's better. And you don't have that bottleneck, and you won't have the hair on fire, and you won't have this plate that's heaping. So try to find that person. All right, delegate. So what are some of the tasks? Administrative, we already talked about that, right? The note taking, the thank you notes, the online researching, see if you can find someone. Bookkeeping, again, here I am with the receipts and all my expenses and all that kind of thing. So, I mean, it may be 5 hours, it might be 10 hours a month that you need to have someone. And then also the social media, like I mentioned. I like to have the overall strategy, but someone else is doing it. They're better at it. Okay, so you're going to do all this in your workbook. And we're going to revisit. There we go. Woohoo. Now let's revisit my to-do list. How does it look? So I'm going to circle the things. So I've eliminated, I've automated, I've delegated, and now I'm going to circle the things that I need to do to be successful. They tend to be the ones that are more directly impactful to your business, such as seeing new clients, such as taking care of your existing clients, such as going to events and networking, or growing your own skill set. Be picky what's on your list, okay? And make sure these are the things that only you can do, and you're not gonna delegate them to anyone, all right? We're almost done here. We got a few takeaways. So, we have found some common themes among entrepreneurs when we've trained them in Boost coaching. And so many never get to those important networking, champion building, prospecting, marketing activities because they are buried in the weeds. So I know it's hard to let go, but we need to start building our business. And how do we do that? Eliminating, automating, delegating. Oh man, am I punching this through to you guys today, right? And that's the only way that you're gonna grow your business, your bottom line. So getting back to the last tip here, now that you've identified what you're spending your time on. So again, you're gonna do that for the week, okay? Write down your big rocks, identify how much time you're doing, and then now you're gonna look at what can you eliminate, automate, and delegate. Those are the pebbles, those are the sand. Take a look at it, okay? Reflect on it. And how are you gonna do that? We're gonna use a weekly scheduler. Do you guys use something like this? Have it, what you're gonna do in the day, and then break it down, and then it becomes the week? Okay, so what does your ideal weekly schedule look like? So use a blank weekly planner, and it's in your workbook. I'm not gonna tell you to do it right now. You're gonna take it back for homework, and you're gonna take a look, and you're gonna use that blank weekly planner and first block off all your big rocks, okay? So take a look, where are you gonna plant your big rocks on here? When's the best time to do face-to-face client interaction or cold calls? When you're most energetic, when you're most animated, when the people you're trying to call should be in the office, Friday afternoon, probably not a good time to do cold calls. Are your people in Toronto? The time just changed, didn't it? So knowing when the time changes. So when are you gonna do that? So block that off. If it's Fridays at 9 to 12, when are you gonna do new business development and the homework that needs to be done? Because if you've scheduled to do the calls on Wednesdays and Thursdays, then she needs to do your homework for you on Mondays so that you can prep for Tuesday, make the calls Wednesday, Thursday. Think of that. And then networking. I mean, it's so easy. Look at, you're networking right now, kind of. But I mean, you're in think of all the lunches that are out there within your industry, within what you're selling, or even places like the Chamber and the North Saskatoon Business Association. They have really good lunch and learns. And here's a good lunch and learn as well. And this is honing in on your skills. So that was number 3 as a priority, right? So you're doing it. And be protective about your time. If you've said, I'm going to take Friday afternoons to hone in on me, and someone wants to book an appointment with you, I mean, if it's forward-facing, great. But if it's just someone that wants try to book around that time. Protect your time. There's going to be exceptions, but don't make it a regular thing. Protect it, okay? So, the why. The why. It's difficult to change our habits and to let things go. So it's super important to remember why. Why are you here? Why were you here for the last 3 workshops, right? What is your why? You won't do the work unless it matters. You won't do all of this homework. You won't put yourself, goal setting, eliminating, automating, delegate. You won't do all this unless it makes sense. So I encourage you to write down what your why is. Why did you come here today? Why are you going to put all the work in it? What do you want from your life? What do you want from your business? Is this more time to be with your family? Is this so you can go on a holiday and not have your phone? My husband's like, what are you doing? Put that phone away. Put that phone away. He's the doctor. I'm like the salesperson. Like, I'm not doing brain surgery. He's not either. But anyways, point is it because you can disconnect and go on a vacation and not worry about anything? Is it about getting to the gym and going to the gym every day? Is it about being able to go to your kids or your grandkids' activities? Whatever that why is, or is it because you want more money, because you can have a better lifestyle? That might be your why. So figure it out, because that's going to be what motivates you to keep on track. And maybe you need an accountability partner to help you when you fall off the wagon. And like today, when I was going through here, I'm like, oh, I fell off the wagon over here. I reminded myself, get back on it, okay? So I've given you a lot of homework. I hope you do it and take the week to do it because it's important. Does anyone have any questions? Yeah, so the question was, do you find that you could have way too many tools and all you're doing is going down a rabbit hole and basically spending time on these tools that are supposed to help you be efficient to free up time? 100%. Everyone's different here. Everyone's like the paper to-do list and it's working for you, then stay with it. But realize when it's not working for you. And if you've scaled your business and it's getting out of hand, then delegate someone to do all that hunting and pecking for you and researching to find the right tool that's going to fit for the whole entire team.
Do you use paper lists?
I do sometimes. I do.
If you could only keep one, which would it be?
I like the paper list that's right there staring me in the face. I'm like you. I'm busy. I have my laptop, 2 screens. I'm going. I got this over here. Cross, cross, cross. Yeah. So yes, there's many tools out there. We're all different in how we learn and how we, and it's the same thing about what keeps us organized, what keeps us motivated. Find the right one for you. I mean, I learned a lot while I went on my own to figure out how do I, and I tried, that Monday was one of them, and it wasn't working for me. So what works for you might not work for you. But if it's motivating you and you're getting your big rocks done and you're focusing on them, then it's like, don't break what's not, broken at this point. Okay? Any other questions?
You didn't mention anything on putting out fires, like you have things that are totally unrelated to your work that suddenly you have to do.
Oh, so if you're on fire, right, you're saying, so the things that you're doing right now in regards to prioritizing and having your big rocks and having your weekend planner and using the tools, some of these tools that we talked about, whether it's the Otter or whether it's your to-do list, when you do have something that you have to put out a fire, at least you're able to because you've been organized, you're able to attend to it. And it doesn't put you behind over there because you've organized this. I hope that answers that question. I know sometimes that, life gets in the way and sometimes an angry client gets in the way or you have a deadline. But hopefully these things in regards to, again, eliminating the things that take up your time, automating and delegating will allow you to take care and put out the fires, okay? So practice this for a bit and take some time to look at where you're spending your time. Great questions. Thank you very much for sharing your experiences, giving us some advice on the tools that are working for you. I appreciate it. I wish you much success in life and in your business. Thank you very much.